From the All Indiana Podcast Network.
The All Indiana Podcast Network.
This is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now the latest news.
Kylie Conway has all the news you need to know.
And more.
Please stand by.
Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Tuesday, September 22nd. We're in for a bit of a warm-up for your first day of fall. A cool start in the 50s, but lots of sunshine will warm us up to the upper 70s. All right, families with students who attend Indianapolis Public Schools will have the chance to learn details about the return to in-person learning. Yes, it is happening. The district is hosting a special parent institute tonight via Zoom. During this webinar, district officials are going to walk families through the plan and all about the timeline. They're also going to answer any questions you may have. Last week, the district announced it's going to phase in this in-person learning starting October 5th. Families had until yesterday to decide if they would send their child to school in person or stay virtual. So all those who have elected to send those kids back to the classroom, tonight is your night to get all those questions answered. Indianapolis is making a pitch to be the next basketball bubble. Indy Sports Corp is offering a plan to host college teams in a controlled, pandemic-safe environment. Games would be on courts inside the Indiana Convention Center, and teams would stay in the 4,700 hotel rooms connected to that center. Teams will be tested before and after they arrive in Indianapolis and be under 24/7 security. So far, the NCAA and its member schools haven't committed to any specifics on where and how to play, but local leaders say Indianapolis is ready if they want something similar to the NBA's bubble in Florida. The Sports Corp says the convention center can hold 20 courts. The estimated cost per team is $90,000 for food, housing, and games. Price would be lower if the schools provide their own meals or testing. NCAA season begins November 24th. Indianapolis is already set to host the 2021 NCAA Men's Final Four. And the city of Indianapolis, Indy Sports Corp says they just really want to break even on this. A historic event to remember Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Her body will lie in repose at the Supreme Court after a private ceremony tomorrow. Ginsburg's casket will then be moved to the front steps where the public can pay their respects until Thursday. Then on Friday, her casket will be placed in the U.S. Capitol, where she will become the first woman to lie in state. Ginsburg will be buried next week at Arlington National Cemetery beside her husband in a private service. We are 6 weeks out from the election, and a new issue is front and center should the court vacancy be filled before the presidential election. Supporters chanted, "Fill that seat" at a Monday Trump rally in Ohio. The president says he'll likely name a nominee Friday or Saturday. The short list includes a Notre Dame professor, Amy Coney Barrett. She's a judge on the Chicago-based 7th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. President Trump met with Barrett yesterday at the White House. She was a strong contender in 2018 for the seat that eventually went to Brett Kavanaugh. Democrats are pushing hard for the seat to stay vacant until after the election or the inauguration. Vice presidential contender Kamala Harris tweeted, "The Supreme Court makes decisions on issues that affect millions of Americans. The voters must choose a president, and that president should nominate Justice Ginsburg's successor." Senator Lindsey Graham, chair of the Judiciary Committee, says Republican leaders have the votes to confirm a nominee before the election. Washington is watching several Republican senators closely because they've broken from the party on past issues. Democrats would need 4 of them to do so again to halt the process. Senators Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski quickly said they oppose a pre-election decision. Senators Cory Gardner and Chuck Grassley said they support a quick vote. That leaves Mitt Romney as the only senator from the swing group who is not committed either way. And today we should learn more about Indiana Senator Mike Braun's opinions about who should fill the seat and when. This morning at 10:45, Braun is hosting a conference call regarding President Trump's Supreme Court of the United States pick. Over the last few days, Senator Braun has made it clear on Facebook saying he thinks Amy Coney Barrett would be an excellent nominee, that he hopes the president selects her, and that bringing a vote to the floor would be wonderful. But some Hoosier voters took their concerns about the Supreme Court vacancy to his office yesterday. They gathered outside to make a statement before making their way to Senator Todd Young's office. The voters are calling on both senators to delay voting on a Supreme Court nominee until after the election. We're also waiting to hear what Senator Todd Young's opinions are about filling that Supreme Court seat, but at this point he hasn't made any statements. Students at Ivy Tech Community College are on a mission to get more people registered to vote. The effort is part of National Voter Registration Day. Students are hosting a drive-through voter registration event at the Illinois Fall Creek Center. The goal is to be a resource for people in Indiana. If you do miss today's event, students are hosting another event October 2nd. The Louisville, Kentucky Police Department has declared a state of emergency in anticipation for an announcement on the Breonna Taylor case. Some bus routes have been shut off per the police department's request to restrict access to downtown. The department has also canceled all vacations. Barriers are being set up. Officials have even closed the federal courthouse and boarded up the windows. Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron has been investigating the case for months. Taylor was shot and killed by police in March when officers entered her apartment using a no-knock warrant. It's unclear when the Attorney General will make an announcement. Tropical Storm Beta is dumping buckets of rain on the Gulf Coast. The storm made landfall last night on the upper Texas coast. A storm surge warning is in place. Nearly 11 million people are under flash flood watches that cover all of the Texas and Louisiana coasts. Universal mask wearing, physical distancing, COVID-19 testing, and increasing fresh air into ventilation systems could allow cruising in the U.S. to return before the end of 2020. The Cruise Lines International Association says these protocols will allow for a safe and healthy cruising experience. Testing will be the starting point for the new cruising normal, with all guests tested prior to embarkation, with additional temperature checks throughout the voyage. Bed Bath & Beyond is closing 4 Indiana stores. The stores are on the West 86th Street and North River Crossing Road in Indianapolis. The others are in Bloomington and Merrillville. Many of the stores were temporarily closed during the pandemic. It shifted its retail focus to e-commerce, which saw an 82% growth in sales. The net worth of U.S. households surged to a record high in the second quarter as the economy began to stabilize and recover from the coronavirus pandemic. Americans' household net worth jumped to $119 trillion from $111 trillion last quarter, according to the Federal Reserve. Real estate, the only major category to gain value in the first and second quarters, jumped by roughly $458 billion. All right, now to the Colts. More roster revisions. Safety Malik Hooker is officially done for the year. The team says he has a torn Achilles. Wide receiver Paris Campbell is out for a long spell, too. Our Colts insider Zach Kiefer had reported on Campbell that he suffered an MCL injury. The Colts say he is out indefinitely. Frank Reich calls injuries the worst part of the job. Just 2 weeks into the season, 5 Colts starters have gone down with injuries. And a nice gesture turns out to be a big oops for our player analyst, Darius Leonard. After Sunday's game, Leonard gave a young fan his gloves. The problem, his wedding band was still in one of them. So Tyler Brook posted on Twitter that his step-nephew is the one who got the gloves and, accidentally, the jewelry. Leonard responded to Brook's tweet, "I need that," and followed 4 laugh-crying emojis for some emphasis there. Brooke then writes that it is taken care of. This has been your News 8 Daily for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
Check out more podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.
allindianapodcastnetwork.com.